Shalom, Israel. It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. As you enter the chat, make sure y'all pound that like button. Allow those notifications to go out. In this broadcast, I want to talk about why they have been distracting us all with a lot of celebrity gossip. You've been seeing it all over social media. You got the Gunner case or the YSL Young Thug trial. You got Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. There's a reason why you are getting hit with a barrage of celebrity court TV. Yeah, that's what they're giving you. And they're going into all the details, live feeds, the whole nine, right? But at the same time, while all these brothers are dying within the industry, they're giving you very vague coverage. So let me get this right. When it comes to these celebrities getting into some type of legal trouble, you doing live feeds directly from the courthouse all over social media. It's captivating the audience like daytime drama, right? But when somebody dies, you're giving us the most vague coverage possible, leaving these sacrifices and rituals shrouded in mystery. It was news that just came out about Stephen Twitch Boss, former DJ of Ellen DeGeneres, who mysteriously died. The media is labeling it as suicide. So is the coroner. So they're sweeping this one pretty much under the rug as a suicide. And now they're claiming that there was a suicide note. And see, I'm still getting updates as these things is going on. They're claiming it was a suicide note on TMZ, talking about some of his past issues, but they did not give the people a suicide note. So that's what we're dealing with. The media giving vague coverage, not bringing nothing really to the table to have the people wondering, right? While at the same time, we following Young Thug and them. Let me tell you something right now. The YSL case in particular is bread and circus. I can tell you right now, for everybody who is all captivated into that show they got going on, that circus they got going on. Let me keep it 100 with you. Young Thug pops up in court with a smile on his face. This man is facing life. This man got a fresh, crispy suit on. This man got a freshly twisted dreadlocks. And the first day in court, the judge threw out all cell phone evidence linking Young Thug to a whole lot of crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, that ain't adding up. That ain't adding up at all. For what he was on record getting caught with and what they done, he's supposed to be in there in that orange jumpsuit, straight like that. But what they're doing is they're distracting the people from something much, much greater. And I'm going to bring some things to y'all's attention today. And I had to get all the celebrity nonsense out of the equation first, so you can really tunnel in on what I'm about to say, because you're watching this stuff and then you want to come to this truth. And you got to get the distractions out of your head. With Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, that's like a drama series. The friend flip-flopping, switching her narratives up. It's all to keep this thing tagging along, right? To keep the people tagging along, rather, right? While at the same time, Bill Gates. Yeah, you know Bill Gates. One of the head eugenicists of the world. He just did a simulation called the catastrophic contagion. And for those who don't know, Bill Gates seems to have the uncanny ability to predict pandemics. And he does this utilizing these exercises that are supposed to be preemptive in safeguarding the people from these particular pandemics. Now, you know what the Bible says when these people say safety, safety, you know that danger is at hand. You know something's coming down the turnpike when they try to say they trying to keep the people safe, right? Rollo, thank you for the $5 contribution. Says nature's returning to its former things. We're in a time such as never before. Absolute. So he has this event called Catastrophic Contagion, where he's predicting another pandemic and pretty much how to come up with preemptive measures to stop it. Now, these exercises are nothing new. There was another exercise called Event 201. And I'm going to share some video footage of Event 201 along with the catastrophic contagion. Now, when I go to Event 201, you're going to see a lot of the things that they were doing in this video actually came true with the vid. Y'all know what I mean by the vid. No keywords in the chat. It is what it is. But Bill Gates seems to be a pandemic prophet because all these exercises that they're doing, they have a lot of similarities to what's taking place in real life, right? So this is what they don't want people paying attention to, because literally the day where they started really pushing hard with the media agendas, with the celebrity gossip and things of that nature, that's when they were rolling out this exercise, literally right around this time. And they don't mind you finding out about these exercises and these predictions after the fact, because a lot of people haven't even seen this video. They don't care about you finding out about it after the fact. But what they don't like is people covering it before they plan it. They don't like people paying attention to what they're doing. They like to roll it out there, put it out there real quickly on Google, on certain articles, you know, have a few minutes speaking about it, throw it out there. And you're not supposed to follow the breadcrumbs. You're supposed to be distracted by Meg Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, Young Thug, and everything else that people seem to be engulfed with, right? So I'm gonna bring it. First of all, let me show y'all some highlights. Let me show y'all some highlights from Event 201. Stephanie, thank you for the $10 contribution. Says they are opening a plant that's going to produce meat and something in NC. Wow. Yeah, they making a lot of these impossible meats and things of that nature where there's a lot of recalls and there's a lot of information coming out on those things too, which that's a topic for another day I'm gonna bring out about how and why they pushing the veganism agenda so strong, right? But we'll get into that later. Ricardo Nunes, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Highly appreciate the support. Now, I want to go to highlights of this Event 201. I'm just going to skim through it so y'all can see some of the things they predicted years before the actual vid that hit us. See some of the things they predicted. And then we're going to go into this new one. We're going to go to highlights to this catastrophic contagion so we can know what to expect. Now, let me put this out here off the get-go, off the break. I am not a medical physician. I am not here to give medical advice of any sort. I am not a doctor, nor do I want to be a doctor. What I'm doing in this video is simply reacting to current events. I'm utilizing fair use. And this will be for educational purposes only, for teaching, edification, commentary, and so forth. That's all, and that's it, right? Well, let's get it. Event 201 happened approximately 2 years before the actual last pandemic we had, right? Let's continue. A global pandemic exercise. Event 201. This is the highlight reel from this exercise. Now, mind you, this exercise lasted about 3 hours and some change. So there's a lot of details that's involved in this exercise. But these are the highlights that we can point to that were really eerily closely related to what actually happened. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what these devils seem to do. They like to put things in practices and exercises as a way to introduce them to the public, in which I would call predictive programming.
It began in healthy-looking pigs, months, perhaps years ago. A new coronavirus spread silently within herds. Gradually, farmers started getting sick. Infected people got a respiratory illness with symptoms ranging from mild flu-like signs to severe pneumonia.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is post-vid. Yeah, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, yes, this happened before it actually hit. For the record, years before they went through this whole simulation, just for the record. So something ain't adding up, right? Something just ain't adding up. Now, this seems eerily close to what took place, right? Eerily close. Except they said, if I can remember properly, I believe they said it came from bats. I could be wrong. But I remember when it first rolled out, I don't think they went with the pig narrative, but they went with the bats. And also, let me point this out. Months before the monkeypox rolled out, Bill Gates actually did one of these exercises about monkeypox. So there seems to be a pattern taking place here that nobody's really paying attention to. But if you know what's coming, you know how to prepare for it. And we're talking about preparing spiritually, right?
The sickest required intensive care. Many died. Experts agree, unless it is quickly controlled, it could lead to a severe pandemic, an outbreak that circles the globe and affects people everywhere.
The mission of the Pandemic Emergency Board is to provide recommendations to deal with the major global challenges arising in response to an unfolding pandemic.
Now, this is Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. They were in on the exercise. And, they stand up on these podiums. They speak as if it's actually happening. They take these exercises very, very seriously, right? They pretty much act and play this thing out in real time. And then we see it take place, right? That's what seems to be happening. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the record, this exercise happened 2 years. Matter of fact, let me pull up, because the Bible says prove all things. So y'all don't think that New Breed is manipulating anything in this video. I'm going to pull up that information for y'all. Event 201. When did Event 201 take place? When? Event 201, it was held on, I'm going to give y'all an exact date. Let's see. October 18th. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Friday, October 18th, 2019 is when this exercise took place. So I'm gonna give you the when and the where. Matter of fact, it was Friday, October 18th, 2019, 8:45 a.m. all the way to 12:30 p.m. at the Pierre Hotel in New York, New York. Yes, I'm giving y'all nothing but facts over here. Nothing but facts. Yes. Now, a year before it took place, right? All right, anyway, let's go.
The board is comprised of highly experienced leaders from business, public health, and civil society.
We could be looking at double the number of cases in 1 week and 16 times as many in a month if we are not able to stop the spread. That would be on the order of 500,000 cases, and it would continue to rise exponentially. In 3 months, we could be approaching 10 million cases.
Yep.
We're at the start of what's looking like it will.
So let's make this clear. They have their numbers in place already of how many people they want or how many people they expect to perish in these particular events. Intelligent Savage. Thank you for the $5 contribution. Says salute, New Breed, salute. Thank you, family. I appreciate it. Yep. Now, man, we're going to get into this because they come up with these numbers. And what this shows is that there's somebody operating very ominously. And it seems like, allegedly, from my observation, that somebody is plotting to take out a lot of people. And some of the same people who are the forerunners or the faces of these particular events, they are pro depopulation. They believe the world is overpopulated. You know, they came right out and said that. So we got to take heed to that. Nima, thank you for the $10 contribution. Says peace, love, light, and blessings. New Breed, keep exposing these devils. Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Absolutely. You know what the scriptures tell us in Matthew 24:22? It says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So if the Most High God didn't send his son back to shorten these days, if he was to leave it into the hands of these world leaders, would nobody survive what they're concocting?
It will be a severe pandemic. And there are problems emerging that can only be solved by global business and governments working together.
We have known about caps-like viruses in animals and people for decades, but have not been successful at developing a licensed vaccine. And sure, there are new technologies that may help, but it's going to be difficult. I am not optimistic about having a vaccine in time to be relevant during this pandemic.
And now they're talking about fast-tracking the V. You really can't make this up. Now, this is event 201. So when I go into the new event that they got planned, you can kind of get an idea of where we're headed going into 2023 all the way to 2025, because that's the time frame we looking at going into 2023 to 2025. What they got planned. See, I'm gonna bring it to y'all straight up so we can at least know what to expect, right? Based on the event. The so-called preemptive measures that they're taking.
So the policy crisis in question for this board in this meeting is this: how should governments, business, and international organizations allocate and distribute pandemic antivirals and medical supplies?
And if you can remember properly, there was a whole issue with medical supplies. And literally they were planning for it all. They were planning for it all. And there's going to be some times coming, brothers and sisters. There's some things coming down the turnpike. Luke 21:11 says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famine, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. there's going to be a lot of fearful sights. There's going to be a lot of things going on. We're going to literally be walking through the valley of the shadow of death because, you know, the time is here. And, you know, you got the Project Bluebeam, where they're going to be doing signs and wonders in the sky. You got the heart weather modification that they're going to be putting to use within the next couple years. Not to mention all the pestilences, all these things being created and patented in laboratories. Within the last 3 days, it's been an uptick in sinus infections all across the United States and abroad. I mean, the numbers are like astronomical compared to every other winter. So there's things going on right now with people dropping like flies, but the world's not paying attention to it because it's too much juicy gossip going on, right? And this is what they use to keep us distracted. While we need to be spiritually preparing for these fearful sights, while we need to be really getting ourselves right and understanding that we can't be lukewarm in these times, right? Because what them scriptures tell us, the scripture says, listen, peep this, Psalms 107, verse 20. He sent his word and healed them and delivered them from their destructions. See, it's through his word that we hope to be counted worthy and delivered from all these pending destructions that's facing. It's through his word, right? So this is what I'm doing right now, making sure we understand the importance of leaning on these scriptures, leaning on the word. Because these devils they not letting up. Let's continue.
To the people who need the most.
What we've seen work very well in the HIV field is, in fact, procurement through the Global Fund. So having a centralized mechanism.
So let's speed up a little bit. Let's get some more of these highlights. And then we're going to go into the new exercise highlight reel.
Of their economies are being hit, particular sector. Government salt. The travel sector is taking a huge hit. Travel bookings are down 45%.
Now travel. Did this not take place? Did this not take place, ladies and gentlemen? Were there not travel restrictions? Was there not a fourth economic revolution where the economy took a major hit? This is a year before all this took place. You really cannot make this up. Travel bookings went down. There were certain travel bans and restrictions. Let's continue.
And many flights have been canceled. A ripple effect is racing through the service sector. Governments that rely on travel and tourism as a large part of their economies are being hit particularly hard.
How should national leaders, businesses, and international organizations balance the risk of worsening disease that would be caused by the continued movement of people around the world against the risks of profound economic consequence?
So now we're talking about the economic collapse. Let's go to more highlights.
Not out of money yet, but the fact is we are trending in a dangerous direction and something needs to change.
So all the economists came into play because what the actual goal really is to transition to digital currency. See, during this whole pandemic, there was a huge transfer of wealth that was taking place in order to consolidate the banking system as we know it today. See, the whole goal actually is to bring out the mark of the beast. You know, the number of the beast, the image of the beast, the digital angel, bringing out the satellites and the very chips, the implantable chips, transitioning from the banking system to an online, to more so a digital assets, blockchains. So this is what they're talking about. Literally, this whole exercise talked about all of this. Yo, Anetta Angela, thank you for the $20 super sticker. I appreciate the support. T. Lee, Thank you for the $10 super sticker. Thank you for supporting this work. Let's continue.
Policy question for this board now is, how should financial resources be prioritized? Are there nodes that we cannot allow to fail? What is your sense of priorities? We don't have money to pay for all of these urgent problems.
So at the moment,
So now they just started printing money out like it's Monopoly paper. Let's see more highlights here.
Are reacting in different ways as to how best to manage the overwhelming amounts of and misinformation circulating over the internet.
Yep.
In some cases, limited internet shutdowns are being implemented to quell panic.
They even address censorship. How can we control misinformation and disinformation? And if y'all can remember, throughout this whole pandemic, something called fact checking was put in place. Now, it's crazy because this whole fact checking thing really didn't seem to hit people that were spreading true information. Seemed to be the other way around. It seemed as if people who was really speaking the truth was getting banned and scrubbed off the internet, while simultaneously people who spread misinformation and disinformation is pretty much rising because it's causing confusion. So again, when these people act like they're being preemptive and trying to stop what's taking place, it seemed like they adding fuel to the fire if you're a person who looking from the outside looking in, right?
How much control of information should there be, and by whom?
How much control of information should it be, and by whom? Listen, I got struck many times by who because of medical misinformation. That's why I'm telling y'all I'm not giving any medical information. I'm simply reacting to the events that our world leaders were practicing. That's it. And that was one of the restrictions. You couldn't say anything about, and you still can't diagnose, talk about any treatment, anything regarding that sickness. That's what they put in place, and I'll follow those rules. Now, it is what it is. I'll just put it out here like this. I'm a Bible believer. I'll leave it at that.
And how can false information be effectively challenged? And what if that false information is coming from companies or from governments?
I think it's very important that we make sure that there is concise communication with all healthcare facilities where these patients are being treated so that there isn't mass panic.
We're at a moment where the social media platforms have to step forward and recognize the moment to assert that they're a technology platform and not a broadcaster is over.
So they started hitting all the platforms where you couldn't say certain things, and they had to pretty much bend. Listen, you're not a broadcasting service, you're a technology service. You're just giving people the ability to be able to use your platforms as broadcasting, but no, y'all gonna have to bend too. And if we deem something unsuitable, pretty much anything that is what we label misinformation, y'all gonna have to remove it. So that's pretty much what they saying right there, right? That's why you got to stick to the facts. You got to be factual in everything you do. Let's get some more highlights on this, on the whole scenario and how it played out.
In event 201 was catastrophic. 65 million people died in the first 18 months. The outbreak was small at first and initially seemed controllable, but then it started spreading in densely crowded and impoverished neighborhoods of megacities. From that point on, the spread of
the inner city. Who did they tell? Listen, who did they say was inordinately affected? People in inner cities. People in inner cities, ladies and gentlemen. People who look like me, look like some of y'all. The poor. Somebody said this is like a novel. Exactly. Predictive programming at its finest. And as you can see, they take these exercises very seriously, very seriously.
of the disease was explosive. Within 6 months, cases were occurring in nearly every country. The global economy was in a free fall.
Yep, it all happened.
The GDP down 11%. Stock markets around the world plummeted between 20 and 40% and headed into a downward cycle of fear and low expectation.
Hey.
Businesses were not borrowing, banks were not lending. Everyone was just hoping to hunker down and weather the storm. Economists say the economic turmoil caused by such a pandemic will last for years, perhaps a decade. The societal impacts, the loss of faith in government, the distrust of news, and the breakdown of social cohesion could last even longer.
Babylon, Babylon is falling, is falling. It's like they knew people would grow a distrust for the news, the media. It's like they had left no stone unturned. They had all their T's crossed and all their I's dotted. See, evil don't take no day off, brothers and sisters. They always plot. They want it to be a dissociation between government and the people. They do. Because through that, they can also bring anarchy and chaos. See, these people believe in order out of chaos. And that's what they setting the stage for. And everybody watching this stream need to pound the like button. This is one of those broadcasts. It's very important for y'all to like the video. All right. Share and like this video because there's some real information coming forth.
We have to ask, did this need to be so bad? Are there things we could have done in the 5 to 10 years leading up to the pandemic that would have lessened the catastrophic consequences? We believe the answer is yes. So are we as a global community now finally ready to do the hard work needed to prepare for the next pandemic?
And now we're talking about the next one. Now, mind you, a year ago, while the current pandemic was taking place, you had Bill Gates. He was already on TV talking about the next one. So they know that this is coming. She called this the global community and how to prepare for it. When they use phrases like that, they actually mean the new world order. That's what the global community is. Now we're going to talk about this new event, this new exercise that's been taking place. And everybody pound the like button. Everybody pound the like button. Let's go. And this one is called the Catastrophic Contagion. Here are the highlights. Bill Gates Foundation comes again with another one. Let's see what we need to get ready for.
Officials in 2 Latin American countries alerted the WHO of several outbreaks.
Now at the bottom it says this is a fictional scenario
Of a new infectious disease that's mysteriously appearing across the region. Severe epidemic enterovirus respiratory syndrome.
And notice it says 2025 at the beginning. Severe epidemic enterovirus respiratory syndrome. This is what they're calling this thing. They're calling it SEERS. SEERS. Very interesting. Very interesting. I want to go to the word SEERS for y'all. And I want to give you the meaning of the word seer. Now peep this, y'all. This is crazy that they labeled this because now we see who the attack is against, right?
Seer.
Seer. What is a seer, ladies and gentlemen? A person who is supposed to be able through supernatural insight to see what the future holds. A seer had foretold the earl would assume the throne. A prophet, a prophetess, a wise man. See, ladies and gentlemen, a seer, spelled the exact same way, is actually the prophets of the Most High. You just can't make this up. This is what they're going to name this thing. A prophet of the Most High, a seer, somebody who can basically be a watchman of the Most High, a person who gets dreams. There are several different types of seers too. The Bible actually speaks about seers. There's ones who have dreams. There's ones who have visions. There are seers who can predict what's going to take place. There are seers who can basically do as I do, can teach in a manner that's prophetic. A gift in which you can piece things together. You can see it. It's almost like a puzzle. A seer, a lot of the times we can be in certain places and start absorbing information, and we're able to apply it and prophesy using the information that's around us. That's what a seer is. People who experience clairvoyance, people like you, brothers and sisters, the chosen ones who know something ain't right. You brothers and sisters who have the insight, the spiritual ability to feel something coming, the impulse to know what's going on. This is who they're actually aiming at. Let's go back to that word seer.
Seer.
A person, it says archaic. A person who sees something specified. A seer of the future. A seer of the future. Seer. Now, this word is plural, is a plural noun in South Asia, a varying unit of weight, liquid measure, or filter. That's the other definition. But seer, that's the second definition. But a seer is a person who has supernatural insight, can foretell the future. Now, let's continue.
2025. Over the past 6 weeks alone, there have been 500 confirmed or suspected cases reported. The virus could cause a severe pandemic if early containment and mitigation efforts are not successful.
The pandemic in this type of situation and trend would be a risk for the global health security.
Pandemics are inherently political, financial, and so much broader.
We have not spoken on the leadership in the country. And I think that we need to be also very careful. We cannot decide a lot of things without
a global challenge exercise. So as you can see, they're honing in more so on the global community with this one. They're honing in on that. Pretty much you're going to have all world leaders coming together, and they're going to really be promoting the severity of the situation at hand, right?
All the leaders be involved and agree on that.
There is no substitute for national leadership.
It's important to support the local response or the national response.
Training those that are in these areas first, enabling them with the tools, protecting them, and if needs be, regional solidarity first.
At this stage, communication is key, and communication should include not just scientists with data, but also social, religious, and political leaders.
Social, religious, and political leaders. So they're going to somehow incorporate religion and society as a whole into this one. So religion is going to be a focal point. And it's like they throw certain ideas out there. They throw certain things. It's like, you know, to see what sticks. And these are just people who are coming up with ideas to advance the New World Order. That's pretty much what they're doing, giving more ways they can advance the agenda.
Trust. This is an essential issue, and trust was broken among countries, between populations and healthcare systems, in healthcare systems and governments.
I'm very sorry to say.
So he said trust was broken between healthcare systems, world leaders, governments, So this is the one world order coming together, because if you're not with the program, listen, you're going to be outcasted as a country at that point. It ain't going to be like it was with the vid when you had Africa pretty much doing their own thing. When those tests came out, they were testing fruit and whatnot. No, this time they already done put everything in place. So if you don't get down, you need to lay down. Because if you ain't part of this global community and you ain't taking this thing serious, then you're going to have a whole issue out here, right? That's basically what he's saying. Because that's like you portraying the trust of the entire world. Well, let's go.
Says that in 2025, we need to strengthen the health system.
WHO needs to be a voice for the voiceless.
No one is safe until all of us are safe.
As of today, there have been an estimated 1 billion cases worldwide.
1 billion cases? Damn. Woo. Is that the same lady from the first video? That is a lot of people. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a huge percentage of the world we're talking about. 1 billion people? You got to be kidding me. Exodus 9:14 says, "For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth." The Most High God wants us to turn to him, because we got to cleave to his truth, because only through the Most High these things will be possible to judge the world. And I know that sounds cold, what I'm saying, but it's just the truth. There's not a leaf that falls from a tree without the Most High's consent. So if they're able to do this, you better believe the pale horse was released. Revelation 6:8. "And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth." See? We talking about a fourth part of the earth. That could possibly be the billion people that they're talking about. It's a lot of people. It's all prophecy, ladies and gentlemen. Move Cry 12 Tell, thank you for the $50 contribution. I appreciate the support. DC, thank you for the $20 contribution. Says, "Get them out, all praises." Thank you for the support. Appreciate it. That's a lot of people, bro.
Estimated 1 billion cases worldwide, with more than 20 million deaths, including nearly 15 million children.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. $50 million children. You know, it's very rare that I become speechless, but it's just an exercise, right, people? It's just an exercise. But let's just say the last exercise they did, the numbers were very accurate. The numbers were very accurate. And this right here is something that we really got to look into. Exodus 5:3 says, and they said, the God of the Hebrews have met with us. Let us go. We pray thee. 3 days journey into the desert, sacrifice unto the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword. Throughout time, our people would make moves. They will go to be with the Lord. All their sacrifices will be made unto the Lord to secure ourselves. Now, of course, Christ came for the remission of sins. We don't have to do any rituals or sacrifices to animals, but we should make our bodies and ourselves a living sacrifice to him. Understanding that our lives no longer belong to us and that we got to be under the hedge of protection. We got to be under the Holy Spirit to be protected through these times, right? Protect our children, pray over our children, give our children unto the Most High, right?
15 million children. Countless millions are alive but left with paralysis or brain damage. The most successful countries are those which invested in preparedness and trained for this moment years in advance. This included having full-time pandemic preparedness and response teams, which conducted detailed operational planning and routinely tested those plans through exercises and drills. If more countries had participated and heeded the guidance, the toll might have been much less.
If they had prepared. If they had prepared for this, it would have been much less. So they're coming in the auspice of being preemptive, but unfortunately, I guess the world is not going to prepare for this, and the casualties are gonna just be the numbers that they name, right? From the looks of things, according to this fictional exercise that they just conducted. October 23rd, 2022. So that's when this happened. They gave the date. Y'all see it right there on the screen? Mark that date in your calendars. The month of Halloween. The month of Halloween. They sat there and they had this event. Now, the highlights were just released days ago, literally days ago. But that's where they had this particular event. Right around Halloween, when all of these sacrifices were taking place. Is anybody paying attention to the signs of the times? Is anybody watching? Oh, they love October. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we got to stay prayed up. Time is drawing near. We got to get ready. Yo, Tira, thank you for the $20 contribution. Highly appreciate it. Somebody said they've been watching me since 2016. All praises to the Most High. Yeah, this channel is extremely underrated. I'm bringing y'all a lot of truth. I believe that I'm under some kind of shadow ban because my channel has an active strike, so they won't allow my videos to go but so far. The strike should be up January 17th. I'm really looking forward to that strike being lifted, and hopefully people can get notified when I'm streaming live, because I'm bringing y'all a lot of information. I'm bringing you info that actually nobody's giving y'all on social media at all. I'm truly living up to my channel's name, New Breed Global Truth. You're getting truth from all over the world. You're getting current events. You're getting world news. You're getting everything over here. So one-stop shop. Terra Felix, thank you for the $20 contribution. Highly appreciate it. And also, the truth is not popular. You're absolutely right. Somebody in the chat said it. The truth is not popular. Darla Vincent says, New Breed, I think you're telling too much truth. All I'm doing is reacting to what the world is doing. They're telling us what they're going to do. These people operate in Satanism. There's a term that I want to give y'all. I want to leave y'all with this term. And because this is exactly what they're doing. This is what the Satanists and Luciferians are doing, right? I'm gonna give y'all this term, right? Lachia Coleman, thank you for the $20 contribution. Says, love you, bro. Keep fighting for the truth. Absolutely. Thank you. And I've heard this term before. What is that? What is this term called? It's called karmatic. Oh man, I gotta get this word for y'all, man. Karmatic. Oh man, I can't find the word, y'all. Damn, I can't find the word. I want to say it's karmatic resolution, karmatic depth. It's something, or karmatic retribution. It's something to that effect. Basically, in hindsight, is the world powers tell you the truth. Satanists and occultists, they'll tell you the truth. And if they put it out there, they do it in movies, they do it in TV series, they do it in all kind of forms and fashion. Karmatic retribution, I believe, is the word. I think it's karmatic retribution, if I'm not mistaken. That's the word. And what it is they believe if they tell you these things, if they let you know what they're going to do, then they're not responsible. They're not held accountable for what they told you. Basically, if I tell you that I have this juice here, this juice is poisonous. This is poisonous, right? If you drink it, you're going to die. I'm going to label it in some form or fashion, but you go drink it, you committed suicide, so I'm not held liable for what you just did, basically. So if I put information out there, right, and you don't take heed to the warning signs, and you end up falling as a casualty, exactly like cigarettes. Yeah, exactly. Some call it universal law, right? They believe they're not held accountable for producing cigarettes because it tells you, listen, this product may cause cancer. This product may cause cancer. We'll put it in small print. We'll put it out to the public. Now, if you choose to smoke these cigarettes and you die, the people creating them don't feel like they're held accountable. This is why these people always operate in esoteric practices. They love numerology. They love putting things out there years before it happened. That's why you see the World Trade in the Simpsons TV show and all of that, because they love being esoteric, because they can put the truth out there to you, let you know what they're going to do. So then when it happens, if you're one of the ignorant ones who not paying attention and not watching, and you are one of the sheep and you fall into the herd and something happens to you, they don't feel like they're held accountable. This is the theory of the Satanists. So this is how they operate, right? But that's just how it is, ladies and gentlemen. They do these practices. It seems this time they want to target the children, the elderly. They're going to more so focus on young people. In the next quote unquote pandemic, it seems like young people are the target. It's very sickening. I can't believe that they put something out there like that. And guess how many views this thing has? Guess how many views? Something this serious, although the last event they had seemed to have a lot of eerie parallels in comparison. Guess how many views it has? 10,000 views. 10,000. 10,000 views. So, although the last exercise they did had all these parallels, this previous exercise that they released the highlights for days ago, only 10,000 people seen it. That shows me right there that most of the world is not paying attention. But guess what? Go on Young Thug, the YSL trial. It's more people watching some of these streams. It's 27. I seen one guy, he had like 30,000 people in the chat, just live feeding the case. All while nobody is paying attention to what they're doing. what they're planning for. Nobody's paying attention to the fact that all your world leaders just a month ago went to the mount where Moses was given the 10 commandments and came up with their own 10 commandments. Nobody's paying attention to that. They went to Mount Sinai, all your world leaders. Nobody's paying attention to the fact that all your world leaders are scouring through Egypt, visiting pyramids, doing God knows what. Nobody's paying attention. Like, everybody's distracted by the celebrities. Meanwhile, these people are planning some catastrophic events, or at least preparing. I stand corrected. They're preparing for some catastrophic events, right? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, tap into this real content. Share these videos everywhere. Like the content. Listen, I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for coming through, catching another broadcast. I got more content coming. I got some business I need to take care of. I got some things I got to handle, moves I got to make. But I'll see you all later on with even more, bringing out even more. So if you're not notified on when I go live, make sure you turn that post notification bell on so you can get videos as they're being uploaded. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, man, make sure you hit the subscribe button, all right? And some of y'all getting unsubscribed, make sure you still in. Make sure you still tapped in, right? You never know where my content is going to go for obvious reasons. So make sure you become a Patreon member so you don't miss an upload. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for y'all's time. Y'all have a blessed one. Shalom and peace.